Good morning, everybody. Actually, good afternoon. This is Nate from the Kraemer Life, and today I'm going to work on trying to cool down our RV. So, as you can see, we have the RV here in the driveway, and it's just in sun all day long. There's no shade. We don't have any trees that provide shade, and so we just get beaten down by the sun. There is an AC unit in the RV. It's only, I think it's a 12 or maybe 14,000 BTU roof-mounted AC system, and it does a okay job keeping it cool, but it doesn't keep up with the amount of heat that just radiates down on the RV all day in just hot sun. And so by 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it is really hot inside that RV. And I'm trying to find a way to reduce that overall heat. Last year, what I ended up doing was putting Mylar blanket or Mylar film on the rooftop and along on the walls on the exterior of the RV. And that did provide a little bit of cooling, because the Mylar reflects about 97 to 98% of the UV rays or the sun that hits it. The problem is I didn't use any insulation between the Mylar and the roof and the walls, and so anything, eventually the Mylar would heat up and it would transfer that heat down into the RV. So what I'm going to try this year is something similar but a little different. I'm actually going to use, try not to blind you guys, I'm going to use Reflectix, because this is Mylar film with about 2 or 3 millimeters of insulation, and so I can put this on the rooftop and put it on the exterior walls of the RV. It'll reflect 98% of the solar heat coming down from the sun, and that extra 3% or 2 or 3% that it doesn't reflect off should get caught by the insulation here, and so it should help reduce the amount of heat that transfers down into the RV quite significantly. And I'm going to show you what I've done so far, and then I'm going to continue putting up more. I think I've made a few mistakes already. I'm learning as I go. So let's go take a look at what I've done, and let's continue this work. As you can see, I've laid down already one strip of the Reflectix roll. So it's 4 feet in width and 25 feet in length. And I started at the edge of the trailer, and I put it to the edge of the roof where it started slanting downward, but I didn't do it all the way around the edge because there's a gutter on the edge that I want to make sure all of the water that hits the roof runs down into that gutter and then drains off properly. And I am sealing, or I'm keeping the Reflectix down using some just tape. This is Reflectix foil tape. It's this foil tape here, and I've put it along all of the seams and the edges all along here to make sure that wind doesn't get underneath it and lift it up and blow it away. The thing that I realized is that I need to have some areas where if water or moisture does get underneath the Reflectix, that it needs to be able to escape. I already did that over here where the AC unit, the condensation drips down out of a port down here. I don't know how much you can see with this because it's pretty bright. And it runs along the rooftop and then comes out the edge and falls down to the gutter and then drips off. And so I didn't put any tape over here where that water runs down. And I realized I probably should have done that a few other areas, have some areas where it's not taped, so that way moisture can get out and any water that comes, gets underneath the stuff can drain off the roof. So I'll probably go through and cut a couple holes in this Reflectix tape here, so that way water can drain off and drain out. So I'll make sure to not do that with the next roll that I put in place. So I'm going to do another 25-foot roll here, and then I'm going to continue to the front of the RV with another roll that will start here, and it'll actually go to the front and run over the side to the front of the RV, kind of like I have this piece temporarily in place, because the front of the RV is all black. It's facing southeast. It gets sun most of the part of the last half of the day, and it just bakes into the bedroom. So I'm going to cover the whole front with the Reflectix as well. And then what I'll do is I'll end up taking and putting the Reflectix on the walls of the RV on the north side, because the south side does get sun, but it's early in the day and it doesn't really heat up that much. But the north side gets baked from about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and gets this side really, really hot. So I'll end up doing the exterior walls as well. So I ended up doing one more roll of the Reflectix, and I got it into position and taped it down kind of loosely up on the roof, but it was getting so hot that I had to stop. I went inside and I showered because I was really hot to cool down, changed my clothes because they were just drenched in sweat. It was gross. So I'm going to switch gears. Yesterday, Katie and I were out in the town and we stopped at Tractor Supply, where we've been getting our pig feed, and we ended up purchasing 20 bags of pig feed, because when you buy 20 you get 5% off, which really just you get one free bag. And so we decided to save a little bit of money that way. We haven't really figured out how to feed the pigs for free. We're not really sure if they can just free roam in our forest and just eat what's available to them and have all the nutrients that they need. So we do feed them. We thought about buying 2,000-pound bag of pig feed, but it actually was quite a bit more to buy it that way than it was to buy individual 50-pound bags. And when we buy 20 and get the 5% off, it makes it even cheaper. All right, so we had these things covered with a tarp because last night it rained. We didn't unload all of these. I unloaded, I think it was 4 of them, and I emptied them into a 50-gallon steel drum that I have. I have another steel drum available, so I'm going to empty some more into that second steel drum, and then I'll stack the rest of these under cover here in the carport on top of the pallet. I need to do this now because it's supposed to rain, and the bags themselves are waterproof, but the edges, the things that they use to seal the edges of the bags, it's made of kind of a paper material, and so that soaks up water and ends up causing some of the feed that's at the bottom of the bag and in the corners of the bag to soak up that water, and then eventually it starts molding and it's not good. So this needs to get undercover before it rains tonight. So I figure while I'm waiting for the heat of the day to pass, I might as well work on this. So when we were buying these bags individually, we were spending about 45 cents per pound of feed. When we bought the 20-pound bags and got one free or the 5% off, it brought it down to 42 cents. Actually, it's like 42 1/3 cents per pound. So it helps. So far I've put in 2 50-pound bags in this 50-gallon barrel. It looks like I can probably get 2 more, maybe 3. So we'll give it a go. Alright, that's 4 bags. I can definitely get a 5th in there. Alright, I'm going to go for a 6th one. If I have to, I'll split it between this one and the barrel that already has some feed in it. I can't fill it all the way to the top because then the lid won't close all the way. I can't go past really past this lip right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see. Actually, I don't think I can go past. Yeah, that's about right. I can't go past this lip right here. I got some more room. Alright. That's the entire 6th bag. Let's see if I can make this work. That's going to be tight. That'll help compact it even more. There we go. Cool. So that's 300 pounds of feed in a 50-gallon drum. That's good. I've unloaded the 9 remaining bags off of the pallet on the back of the truck and just stacked them here on the 50-gallon drums. And I think what I'm going to do is back here in the carport is I'm going to use these cinder blocks that I have here and make a taller structure for the pallet to go on, and then I'll stack the 9 bags on that. My thought is hopefully I can keep the mice from getting into the bags. I don't know if it's going to really matter that much. I think mice are pretty good at climbing things, but I'm going to stack those up, make a wall, put the pallet on it, stack the bags, see how it goes. What do you guys think? Think it's going to help with mice control? Who knows? One of the advantages of having it higher like this, in addition to hopefully keeping mice away, is that I don't have to bend down as much to pick up the 50-pound bag. I can just pick it up with my arms without really bending over, so that'll help. This also gives me a place to put my other feed. We have alfalfa, Timothy, hay for the sheep, and I think I have a bag around here of chicken feed. So this will be good to get all that stuff off the ground too. And this is the minerals for our sheep. Cool, that's great. That feels good having everything off the ground. I like this. This is good. So while we're talking about pig feed, we also saved these bags. Right now we're just rolling them up and stuffing them inside one of these bags. And it's because when I built the pig shelter, I ended up using these as the siding, as the sides for one of the pig shelters because they're waterproof. So we're not sure what we're going to do with our feed bags at the moment, but we're going to save them because we're pretty certain we'll find a use for them. It is the next day, and last night I was able to get 2 strips of the Reflectix Insulation on the roof, and I have some drone footage that I'll put up right now. And I can tell you so far that it has made a huge difference in the inside temperature of the RV. Usually around 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it is sweltering hot in the RV. It's a little cooler than outside, but it's pretty unbearable inside. Last night, completely different. It was actually quite comfortable. There are still a few areas where I can feel some heat coming through the walls, and I'll try to address those today. But the insulation made a huge difference in our living area, so the kitchen, the living room, Katie's work area. The roof above the bedroom, I didn't get to cover that last night, and the front of the RV, the black face front of the RV, I didn't get to get that covered. So the bedroom was a little bit warmer than the living area because we keep the door between the bedroom and the living area closed. So I'm going to try to address that today. The issue that I've been facing so far today is because it rained last night, now the roof is really slippery because that Reflectix is super slippery when it gets wet. So I think it's dried off enough to where I can walk up there safely and not fall off the RV roof. So I'm going to head up there. I'll take you guys with me. So I've finished laying down all of the insulation on the roof. I need to tape down quite a few areas, but unfortunately I've run out of tape. So it's late in the day. I started doing this work earlier. It was about 2:30 and the sun was just beating down and reflecting off of the Reflectix, and it was just, it was hot. So I stopped and I came back out later in the evening. It's about 6 o'clock right now. We do have a storm rolling in. You can see it here behind me, so I need to make this quick. And because I ran out of tape to tape down the insulation, there's not really much more I can do today. But I'm going to show you that I got the roof above the bedroom finished, and so now things are going to be much cooler for us. Wow, that storm is really coming in fast. You can see that things are going to start flapping in the wind because I don't have any more tape to tape this stuff down, but I think it'll be okay for this storm, and then I'll come back up and fix it when I get more tape. Before I end this video, there is something I wanted to mention about this project, and if you were going to do this yourself, I wanted to give you some tips. So the Reflectix Installation is not meant for outdoors. It's an inside product. It's not rated for the outdoors, so I honestly have no idea how long this stuff is going to last in the elements. With the sun beating down on it, it may not last very long. I just don't know. I also didn't wash the roof of the RV off well enough. Actually, I didn't wash it at all. And so the tape that I used may not stick to the liner or to the roof long enough, and things may start coming off. So if you're going to do this, make sure that you wash the roof really well so that way it doesn't have a bunch of dirt and the tape has something to stick to. Also, make sure that you leave some areas along the edges of the insulation where moisture and water can get out of, but make sure you don't do it in a way where wind can get underneath it and rip it up. So far, this stuff has worked really, really well. The temperature inside the RV is finally comfortable all day long. In fact, sometimes the AC unit will actually shut off because it's reached the temperature that we set the thermostat. So it's really cool. I'm really glad that I did this project. And if you're having issues keeping your trailer, your RV, your trailer, your tiny home, something like that, cold or cool during the hot summer heat, then maybe give this a try, and I wish the best for you. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.